Hi, welcome to another edition of Triton Talk. I am Marianne Mitchell, Associate AD for Communications at UMSL, and I'm pleased to be joined by head men's basketball coach, Bob Sundvold. Coach, welcome. I assume you're joining us from the lake where you've been spending quarantine.
I am. I'm joining you from beautiful Stone County, Missouri at Table Rock Lake.
And tell us a little bit about how your quarantine's been going. You have not been in the St. Louis area. I imagine it's a little bit less hustle and bustle than what the school year kind of looks like for you.
It's a little bit strange. We have a little family place down here that we've been coming to for 30 some years. And when the quarantine started and we shut down school and we sent our players home, and we kind of had the real sorry ending to a great season, I told Denise, I said, why don't we run down to Table Rock Lake maybe for a couple days and we'll see how this all sorts out. Because as you recall, we were going to spring break. We were going to have spring break within a week. Well, then spring break happened, and then we had this, hey, we're shutting down the campus. Nobody's going to be on the campus except essential personnel. And I've been back to St. Louis 4 nights since March 14th. And we've had to come back and forth for a couple things, but this has been a real different experience for us because we were in a place that we've really never spent more than a week at a time at. And so now Denise got a lot of projects, and I'm trying to become a handyman, which is not a successful endeavor for me, but we've been real good. I mean, it's been good. And you know, obviously there's not a lot of traffic down here. There's not a lot of people. And the great thing, I think, is we've had a great recruiting year. And my neighbor kids me that he heard me talking to one of our recruits that we signed on my dock one night. And it was, you know, it was in the evening, and he leaned over and he said, man, that is the most unbelievable stream of BS I've ever heard. So I said, well, it's all true. And fortunately, we were able to get Miles to join us. But it has been an interesting time, and we miss St. Louis, love St. Louis, and we'll get back there shortly. But our guys are doing great. We've been able to have Zoom meetings with them. They've all been able to get home or get somewhere safe, and it's been a lot of fun being down here. And it's just been, it kind of takes you away from that world, and you're not into it all the time. You know, I mean, it's not like you have a wake up and wonder how the COVID-19's doing. You know, I mean, we have been able to shelter ourselves from that, but look forward to getting school started in August and getting things back. And you find out what you miss. You miss, even in the summer when we can't work with players, you find out you miss having them walk in your office and give you whatever problem they had or whatever they're doing. And it's just really kind of a unique experience this year for all of us.
Definitely. And speaking of, like, you talking about recruiting while you're out on the dock there, I mean, technology is amazing for this type of pandemic that we're in, is that you can literally work remotely and work from your dock like that.
You can. And I was trying to compile a list of stories I had from this little house we're in. In fact, I will tell you, I'm sitting in the room that I got the call from Travis Ford when he was leaving Missouri to go to Kentucky. So that was one of the stories I have. But we've been involved in I've been down here for a number of years, you know, but it's been great. But yeah, the technology's great. Parents and their son, the recruit, can get on, you can get to know them. And I feel great about our recruiting class, which I hope we'll get to talk about because they've all got their paperwork in. And I feel great about what we were able to do. Scott Gauthier did a great job. Jesse Shaw took the Maryville job, so we've kind of had a little staff change up, but I feel really good about the guys we were able to sign, and that's without having them come to campus. I mean, they did not see UMSL. They didn't see what I think is our best selling point, and that's our players and our personnel, the people that are in our campus, and whether it's the business school or the nursing school or anybody with faculty and staff. So we feel great. Now, when we get our guys here in the fall and their parents will come down, I think that'll be a great time for us to showcase kind of what we've got going on.
So how do you sell UMSL when a kid can't come to campus and see the gym or see your locker room and some of the different things on campus?
Well, I think first off, it's maybe the first time we've had that we kind of have a little street cred behind us with our record, the season we had. And the other thing is we have a number of players returning that are really quality guys, and we were able to use them when we could. But I think you're finding players now want to get with teams that are winning, teams that have success, teams that have returning guys that can maybe show them the way and the way to do things. And then the other thing is it's St. Louis. You know, we always talk about St. Louis. We talk about being in a city and creating a network and jumping right into the job market if you're done. And you know, to be a professional at whatever thing you choose, whether it was be a dream deal of a basketball player, or you want to go into business, or you want to go into criminal justice. And I think being in the city just adds such an easy little pathway to get into whatever you want to do later on in life.
And then kind of looking back on this past season with all the records that you guys set and everything you accomplished, does it seem kind of surreal that you guys did what you did, or is it kind of like, yeah, we knew we were going to do that?
Yeah, you're going to make me cry. No, it was great. The guys did a great job. They were terrific. And the reason I'm emotional about it is you didn't get to have that last month of the school year where your guys are around, you talk about the accomplishments, you get to talk about achievement, have a little recognition. Hopefully we'll get to put that together in the fall when everybody comes back. But I thought that this group maybe had a lot of talent, but I think also the best thing they did was they played as a team, and they were really pulling for one another. And so, yeah, it was a great year. I just still, that's the other deal, is the way we had to end it. You get off the bus, you meet with the team, hey, our season's over. You look at the 3 seniors, and that also include Kenny Berry, who chose to graduate early and get into the business world. So you got 4 guys who weren't going to play again. And, you know, the season's over. And then one of the coolest things that happened was one of our guys said, well, hey, we're all here. Let's go in and hoop. And they played about an hour and a half, 2-hour pickup games. And, you know, it's just kind of an interesting way to end. I just wish we could have played in the tournament for the seniors especially, but for all our guys and for UMSL, because we, you know, it'd been 32 years and it had been quite a while. But we'll see if we can keep it going. And when we get everybody back, we'll have a neat little deal of recognition and talk about our achievement from last year. And then we can turn the page and kind of put it away and start on next year.
Well, the good news is I did hear this morning that your team photo is up on the wall of NCAA tournament teams now. So we've got one thing accomplished during quarantine in the building.
Hey, we will have to get a picture of that and tweet it out and send it out to all the guys, because that, you know, Marianne, that's one of the things, you know, they talk about that. You know, they talk about, hey, will we get our picture on the wall? And we, you know, we haven't had a men's basketball picture up there for a long time. And so I think a lot of players use it as motivation during the year. You know, hey, we want our team pickup. And so that's great to hear. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then kind of looking ahead to the next year, I know you're going to have quite a few guys come back, couple first team all GLVC performers. I'm sure there's got to be a lot of excitement about kind of getting back on the court and having some of that unfinished business. You know, you lost by 1 point in the conference tournament championship game, and then like you said, you didn't even get to go on the court for the NCAA tournament. We are
optimistic, and you know, whenever you talk about a recruiting class, it always kind of takes you to what you have coming back. You know, I mean, what kind of returning players you have. And we have Yakima Rose. We have Jose Grubbs, who are first team all GLVC. We had Yak, who made all region. We have Steve Webb, first team all defense player of the year. We have Shane Wissink, who led us in minutes and was just a guy that you couldn't get off the floor once it started and once he got in there. And, you know, Kellen King had some great minutes for us. He's a junior. You got Ike Fuller, Trevor Moore coming back. And the other thing, we have two guys that did not play because of injury, Marquise Collins and Basaru Njai, who we're hoping that their rehab's going well, and all indicators are that it is. But the other thing that we've talked about with our team is last year we saw a lot of guys make use of the shooting gun in that gym. And you saw a guy like Kenny Berry put in a lot of time, and he went from 50 minutes as a sophomore to over 300 minutes his junior year. Well, that was done because of summer work. And we have really expressed to our guys the importance that even though you're not in St. Louis or you can't come to campus, you have to put in the work. It's either got to be conditioning work, strength training work, stretching, flexibility, getting it on a court somewhere. You got to try to improve, because that got our team up to the level where we were at. And hopefully we have guys, and by indications when we're talking to them, a lot of guys are doing things that are real important for next year. And I think that's going to be a big team building thing when we get back, and just trying to make sure that we put in the off-season work. You know, we're a typical coaching crew. We talk about, hey, teams are made from October to March. Well, individual players are made from March to October. They got to work on their own game. They got to improve a skill set. You know, they got to add a little hook shot, or they got to add another play, to something that they can add to their offensive play. And there's also some mental training involved. But I really feel good about our guys, and especially the ones coming back. And they all kind of get a feel for what made their success, made their team run last year. And so, you know, we'll see. Let's talk a little bit about the three new guys we have. Okay, we were really fortunate, I think. Marty Jackson is joining our team. He's from Kansas City, Hogan Prep. He was a winner in high school. They went to the state tournament his junior and senior year. He was a winner at North Central Missouri College, junior college up in Trenton, Missouri. They were #1 when their season ended this year. They did not get to play their national tournament either. But All-Americans, 6'7", who can score at different spots on the floor. He gives us another element that we didn't have. And we really thought Marty was a key to our recruiting. And he, I think, can really help our team maybe change a little bit of the look that we had. The other transfer we have coming in is a guy named Miles Sifa, who's from the Chicago area. We've had good luck with Chicago guys here. And Miles is coming from Sacred Heart University. He had a redshirt year, and then he got injured. So he's had 2 years at Sacred Heart where he did not play a lot of minutes. So he doesn't have this stat base that he can fall back on. What we like is that he's got 3 years. He's got great perimeter shooting, perimeter skill, and he's about 6'6", 6'7". And I think he can really fit into a little area for us that we really need. And then our high school player we signed was Sam Richardson from St. Louis, Hancock High School. And, you know, Marianne, we try hard to get local guys, and we want St. Louis guys to come here. And Sam and his family were really excited about coming down. So they were the group. They did get to come to see games. They've been on campus, although they didn't get the official visit or the tour. But Sam was the leading scorer in Missouri, or in St. Louis, at 27, 28 points a game, and led his team to some big wins. And I think he can come in, and even though it's hard for a freshman in our league to play right away, and then he's also going to be looking at a lot of returning guards that are going to be kind of slotted in there. But I think he's going to have just a terrific long career at UMSL.
Well, that's exciting. I know everybody will be excited to see those new Tritons on the floor this upcoming season. Now, Coach, you've got more than 35 years of experience in coaching basketball. You'll be starting your 8th year at UMSL this year, 16th year overall as a head coach. What has kept you in the game for so many years?
Players. I mean, really, I think it's being around young guys. And I just had a birthday yesterday, Marianne, and I'm telling you, I think there must be some synapse in our brain that has us forget about 10 or 15 years. Because I look at that number and I go, how can I be that age? But I really do. I think it's players. I think it's people you're around. And then we always are competitive. I think we love being a part of games, being a part of figuring out how to win. And then I also think that we are in a position when you coach, and I think this is really an interesting time of our society and of our country, but we're at the front line of racial injustice, of social equality, of socioeconomic equality. Where we're at the front line is that we get to see these young guys come in from all walks of life, all different religions, different countries, everything comes into a college team. And I think we have such a great responsibility and such a great chance to help people understand that, hey, you care for one another, you respect one another, you have empathy for one another, you love one another, you work hard at getting that across, you work hard at getting players to understand it with one another. And I just, you know, you watch all the things you see on TV and you think, I really do think coaches can have such a great role in all of this, in at least educating your team. And then those guys can get on campus and they can educate, and they can go home and they can help friends. They can go home and help family. And, you know, you have a guy like Shane Wissink from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and he rooms with Jason Towery from Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, not a big difference, but hey, it is a difference in socio and economic backgrounds. And on our team, we have a player from Senegal. We have a player from Philadelphia. We have players from Chicago, St. Louis, Granite City, Belleville. So you have a chance in a basketball team or in a sports team to blend a great deal of culture. And I think I'm looking forward to that this year as much as any. And I think it's always kept me in the game. It's kept me young. You know, we're having a weird little deal about let's vote on November 3rd. Well, I was telling Lori, our athletic director, I said, I've talked about voting for 40 years. I've talked about, hey, what are you doing as a student to get involved, to be, you know, to be an advocate or an adversary? What are you doing? So I think we really have a chance. Maybe it'll be emphasized a little more, but I really think we have a chance to really help our student athletes.
Yeah, definitely. And if I encourage fans, if they haven't seen the message that you and the rest of the men's basketball coaches in the GLVC put out, it's very good and kind of speaks volumes to what you had just talked about as well.
Yeah, I think it was great. You know, the coach at William Jewell, Chris McCabe, kind of came up with the idea, and he was able to put in a nice video together with all the coaches in our league. But I think if you go right down the line with coaches and high school coaches, college coaches, NBA coaches, pro coaches, I think all of us find that we are at the front line. Hey, we can be front and center, helping students, helping student athletes, helping students in your university understand, hey, things that are going on, how they can help, how they can be involved.
Definitely. Well, Coach, enjoy the rest of your time at the lake, and hopefully we will be seeing you back on campus sooner than later.
You will. You will. Thank you, Marianne, for having me on. It's been fun.